Hey, I'm Jacob. You're watching the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. Today I want to talk to you about a project that I'm working on that is the Exodus Knife and Tool Pilot Survival Knife. Now, if you're not familiar, Exodus Knife and Tool is my knife brand, and this particular prototype was made by my friend Bryson Scott. It's made of 01. That's not maybe it'll be the steel I eventually go with, maybe it won't. But what we have is we have a knife modeled after the Air Force Pilot Survival Knife, the Ontario 499, whatever you might call it. And the reason that I want to start working in this direction is because I've owned, besides my current Ontario Pilot Survival Knife, I think I've owned 4 or 5 of them. And in the past, before I did YouTube or Beach and Tactical or anything else, I actually thought that I would modify knives, get them razor sharp, and resell them. Knives that I purchased used off eBay and stuff. One of those knives I thought I was going to do, I bought like 10 or 15 of the Ontario Marine Corps bayonets, and I bought a bunch of Air Force survival knives. They were all jacked up, and the edges were so bad, they were so off center, I actually couldn't really get them sharp. They were so thick, so that's when I purchased a work sharp. And the edges, the bevel was so far off to one side. I didn't know a lot about sharpening at the time, still really don't, but I would completely, keeping the angles the same on both sides, completely grind away at one bevel on one side and barely touch the bevel on the other, is how off center they were. And more recently, with my recent Ontario one, the edge is so thick, it's stupid. And here's the problem. This size knife is incredibly practical for survival, bushcraft, general utility, whatever you want to do. The problem with the Ontario survival knife is if you have such a thick edge, the knife is good for nothing. No knife this size is good for chopping. I promise you, no knife this size is good for chopping. However, if you wanted to compare a knife of the exact same weight distribution, and one has a proper thin edge, like this beautiful knife made by Bryson Scott, and one has a big, fat, thick daddy edge like the Ontario model, I guarantee you this will chop better. It disgusts me every time I hear someone say that the Air Force survival knife has a thick edge to make it better at chopping. Disgusts. Anyways, there's a lot of potential in this blade that I felt was untapped, and I like paying homage to traditional and historical designs. So the concept of this knife is the same size as the Pilot Survival Knife. The handle takes some cues from the Pilot Survival Knife. Obviously, this is only a prototype. The choil is about the same length as the Pilot Survival Knife Ricasso. But you have a full tang knife with micarta scales, a proper steel and proper edge geometry to make a knife that really is what the Pilot Survival Knife should be. So this knife has not seen a lot of field time yet. As you can tell by the finish, this is 01. This thing's going to look really nasty before we get done testing. This has done quite a few feather sticks, and this has done a lot of batoning. This was my fireside knife for a little while for fine work, and it just works phenomenally so far. But we've got a lot to do with it yet. Again, this is a prototype, so you will see, I'm sure, some changes to the design before we go into production. Right now it's 3/16 of an inch thick. But this is a knife that I'm very excited about, and I think people will really like this knife. I think this might be one of my best-selling belt knives because the size is so practical and handy. I want to take a moment to brag on Bryson Scott, however. Young maker in Mississippi, this is what he sent me. This Kydex sheath is just awesome. Good retention. Nice draw, nice fit and finish, nice everything. And that's not always easy to find with a custom maker, to get a Kydex sheath this nice. I didn't send him my Air Force survival knife. I sent him a series of pictures and measurements. He made this exactly the way that I wanted him to, really, and it's so close to the original that it fits right into the original sheath. Now, one reason why I want to stick with this is you can actually buy the original Pilot survival knife sheaths fairly affordably, which means that these being premium production knives when they're ready, if you want to save some money and buy it without one of the sheaths that I'll offer it with, you can just go and buy one of these and throw it in there, either until you can afford a custom sheath or a really nice sheath, or maybe you'll just keep it this way. Maybe you'll actually like these. These are in some ways fairly decent sheaths. They're certainly lacking in many other ways though. Anyways, I want to just quickly update you on the Pilot survival knife process. Now, if you're watching this video later, currently we're in May of 2020 during this whole coronavirus government silliness, and I'm working on a pre-order order. Currently, we are making progress on that. The people that pre-ordered knives are having to wait much longer than expected because Mineral Mountain Hatchet Works shut down. Also, we are moving production of all of our 1/8 inch models to a new company. We're not 100% sure who it will be yet, but I would say that we are 95% sure, but they also are currently shut down. So things are moving slowly. If you're waiting on a knife, it is coming. I apologize for the wait, but we've got big stuff coming, and hopefully we will have a pre-order available of Legionnaire field knives soon, and Lord willing, that will take much less time than this current order. Thank you for watching. Please check out the description box below. You can see ways to support this channel. Also, I will have links to my Exodus Knife and Tool Facebook and Instagram in the description box below so that you can follow me there. And in case you don't know, that is the best way to keep up to date with what's happening at Exodus Knife and Tool, because currently that's what I run everything through. Thank you for watching. Also, in the description box below will be links to Gryson Scott Knives. Awesome kid, incredibly talented, works a lot with S35VN, and he will be at Blade Show this year, so I'll be doing another video with him. He was my 2019 Blade Show Custom Maker of the Year because of the balance of fit and finish, just overall build quality and price. He's just awesome. Actually, what I'll do now in this video is, at the end of the video, I will put some pictures up that show the different models that he does offer. Anyways, please check those out. Check him out. I hope that you have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you in the comment section below.